Today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can get your team members to be able to accept information that you've given them and eventually make it feel like it's theirs and that they own that technique or information that you've given them. So for example, as an instructor and coach, I'm always trying to teach my students new techniques that they can use in sparring or in competition. The trouble that I find is that a lot of the time the mind doesn't always accept what you teach. So my students, as much as they trust me and know that I have their best interests in heart, their subconscious is always skeptical. And the subconscious is always skeptical for a reason. It doesn't want to be easily manipulated, because if it was, it could lead to the person's demise. So it's important that your subconscious has a defense barrier, and you've always got to be convincing that individual that the technique you're teaching them works. So we do that through, so system 2 is your conscious and system 1 is your subconscious. Your conscious trains your subconscious. So in the class, I'll be teaching my students techniques and they'll be drilling them out, but I can tell they haven't fully accepted my technique by the way that they throw their techniques. So they may throw them hesitant, or they may even have a thing called paralysis by analysis where they just pause and then they throw them. When it comes to sparring or competition, I need my students to be able to throw those techniques like they're theirs, not mine. So that's the key thing here. When you're teaching someone, they perceive that information as yours and not theirs. What you need to be able to do is get them to it's become theirs, and it's become their technique. So you could be a salesperson, a sales team member training your team on a script, and you've got the script written down, which is your script, and you want your team members to follow that script. The reason why they might not be fully able to do that is because they can't remember the script, and also it doesn't feel like their words coming out. So I recommend coming up with a variety of different ways to be able to make them feel like it's theirs and eventually it becomes their script. Otherwise, the customers may pick up on the hesitance, their voice being hesitant, uncertain, and the customers may not feel that they're being led, and they may feel like that person's untrustworthy. So in order for your sales team to be able to pick up a script, you need to be able to come up with loads of different ways in which you can train the conscious to simulate it into the subconscious, for them to trust what you're saying is correct and then eventually to become theirs. So when you're having the conversation over a sales script, if it still looks like your words than their words, you've still got a bit of way to go. So my recommendation is to come up with a variety of different ways to let the subconscious safely assimilate it, meaning that it comes from them.